Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Steve Jones with my very special guest, Muriel Anderson. And what you just heard was something called a harp guitar, and that was a robin that flew by. But I that is like entrancing, and you will be, I think, hailed as one of the most special guests we've ever had on Rock in the Valley. And
Oh,
very much
thank
thank
you.
you for coming on. That is when that ranks. I'm going to give a shout out to Jim Ruff. Okay, Jim Ruff is Lehigh Valley's bagpipes player. Okay, and I'm not saying you're like the bagpipes, but it's one of the other unusual instruments we've had, and you handle that is such. I
Well,
mean,
thank you.
all
I have to say it's the first time I've been compared with a bagpipe.
well, I will tell you what. I watched you tune up,
Yeah.
and it was fascinating because you're tuning up what 15
20 strings here,
strings. Okay,
or 19, I believe, on this. This one
19.
has one
Okay,
fewer than the other. Yeah.
I mean, it was really neat. And then I recall it back to, and forgive me, it's where I'm going here with this. Jim said he had to tune up his bagpipes, and I thought, how?
Well, I say I don't know the number of strings on this guitar. This is the first time I have played this guitar. I just picked it up. It was made by Mike Britton, and so it has a different number of strings than my regular guitar. So this is going to be my guitar for summer. It's much smaller and better for travel.
Yeah, they do. They're
And
large.
yeah, so this is a big event for me, my first time playing my new Mike Britton harp guitar.
I love the sound of this thing. I
Oh,
mean,
great,
it's
great.
it's it's fantastic. You know, it's a 6-string guitar plus
Yes.
a 13-string harp, which is actually a small harp, wouldn't that be?
Oh well, yeah, it's got 7 super trebles here. These are steel strings. The rest are nylon, and then it has 6 sub basses, which I'm used to 7, so I have to remember now which ones to tune which different ways. So this is going to be the new challenge for me.
Well,
Okay, exciting show, right?
but yeah, this is going to be cool. And I was trying to get my keyboard set up here so we could jam and do some AC/DC.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
ain't gonna work. But I have a couple of dumb questions on it because it's an instrument that has fascinated me. Okay, I can't play guitar for a couple of different reasons. But I always wanted to. Okay, but this one here I think is the ultimate quote unquote guitar, harp guitar, as you corrected me once, because I call it a guitar harp, and it's like
Yeah.
oh, but are they all acoustic? Is there electric harp guitars?
There are electric harp guitars, and I do have a pickup system in this, so I can, if I wanted to play an outdoor concert, in a big theater, I could certainly plug it in. And so it has the option of both. So I'm using the 3 sets of pickups on here, one for each set of strings.
Now, I listened to some of your stuff online, I'll focus in on you in a minute. I'd like to focus just on the instrument a little bit, so because people are looking at this, I'm sure they're going, "What is that thing?" Okay, and I mean, it's uncommon. I mean, it's got this thing, and it goes like this, and it's like, what is that? So where. What's the history of the instrument a little bit? Do you know?
Well, the harp guitars were popular in America right between 1890 and 1910, so a very short time. I think by 1920 they stopped building them. So at that time, Larson Brothers in Chicago was building them, and Gibson Guitars was building them, and you'd see pictures of mandolin orchestras, and that was the cool thing to do, back before video games.
Yeah.
And so people would get together a whole bunch of mandolins of different sizes, and then you'd see a harp guitar, holding down the bass fort on that.
Oh, okay.
But people don't really know what was played on them at that time so much that a lot of that is not recorded. But there's an earlier history of instruments like this, and in fact, all sorts of different strange instruments during the Renaissance period in Europe. So
Okay.
Europe has a whole history that precedes the American harp guitar.
Okay. Now, what exact what drew you to the harp guitar instead of, the dobro, for instance, or something else? What
Oh
drew you
yeah,
to it?
well, I still play, half my music on a regular six-string guitar that's behind me here. Um, and when I got to college and started classical for the first time, because I was playing folk and bluegrass and jazz before that, little jazz, and so this classical thing was a new creature. And as I was playing these tunes, I just kept on hearing these extra low ringing bass notes behind the music. And I was writing music, I kept on reaching for a note that wasn't there. And so I went to look for an instrument that could make the sound that was in my head. And I found the pictures of the harp guitar, and then went to a Michael Hedges concert. He was the only guy that I knew who played it at the time. And that was the first time I heard one for real.
So it was more the versatility that drew you into it
Yes.
than just a simple instrument itself. I'm blown away. I really am. And your hand technique, that's tough.
Well,
You know?
it's just like anything. You do it a little bit more at a time. And there's a group that gets together for the Harp Guitar Gathering. So harp guitarists from all over the world get together.
Is that
All
video?
all 35 of us, I think it was. But growing actually.
Is that video I saw? The other one?
Oh, yeah, we did one virtually last year because we couldn't get together for real. So for that, I put together a version of The Water is Wide that has been typically our farewell song, where it's the last song of the convention and everyone gets together and plays it all at the same time. So to kind of reenact that, it took a bunch of us from all different places around the globe, and we did a video together. So that's on my YouTube channel.
And, I'll have to refer people to take a look at that. But now there's a song.
All right, this is a tune that I learned from Claude Laflamme at the Harp Guitar Gathering that I was just talking about. Little Eleanor Rigby.
Okay. Fantastic. And now I understand. Because that sounded like two guitars playing. I'm watching your hands again. Because this instrument completely fascinates me. It really does. And I got it. Okay? you were playing both the bass and the lead
And the middle voice.
and the middle voice. You play
Three
all of
parts,
it,
yeah.
and you're strumming, or plucking, I should say, with your left hand.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that you're plucking some of the bass.
Oh yeah, some of the
Yep.
notes up
I've been
here
seeing
too.
the other song, yeah, yeah. Again, that stays in too. Anyway, you're doing, yeah, your hands coming up over top, you're plucking, you're coming down here, you're plucking the bass with your, so this is a fully involved, both hands. You're not just doing the chords and grabbing them, going up and down the neck. This is, you're playing this thing essentially like it's a piano. I mean, a piano, you're fully involved with everything. I don't want to compare it to a piano, but it's both hands are working.
Well, yeah, it gives you really the usable range of a grand piano. You know, almost all of it, not the except for the really high tinkly and low
Right, right.
grumbly ones
Yeah,
at the
no,
bottom. Yeah.
I don't know why they put them on there. They don't even sound right. And you also have a
Yeah.
birthday tour coming up too.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. So we have some live shows. Actually, I'm so excited to do a live show again.
Yeah,
um, yeah, the only ones I've done all year are two shows in Florida, I tell you. And do you have the dates of those?
yeah. I just brought it up on your website here.
Great.
It's murielanderson.com/now. You're going to be doing a house concert in Rochester, New York,
Yep.
June 3rd. And on June 4th, Friday, you're going to be in Sayre, PA, an outdoor concert. Then you're going to be back in New York at the Center for the Arts in Homer, New York. On Sunday, June 6th, Town Crier in Beacon, New York.
Yeah, famous place.
Yeah. And then you've got a birthday concert on June 17th.
Yes,
And
everyone's invited to the birthday concert.
that's cool.
And for this, I thought instead of opening gifts, I would give gifts to everybody who tunes in.
That's cool. Now,
So,
I note here it says live stream, which I'm assuming it's live stream, but when I clicked on it before, it takes you to Eventbrite. Now, I'm assuming you want everybody to register when they come in.
yeah, it's really helpful if they register, and it makes it easier for the drawings because we're going to also be drawing some things from people who've registered, but it'll be open to the public.
Okay, cool. Now, let's just mention it again. I'll flash it on the screen, too. MurielAnderson.com. Let me spell that because if you're like me, you'll make the same mistake. It's Muriel Anderson, ANDERSON.com. And there's a whole menu there, some great pictures, and there's some links to some other stuff. A lot of information about what you're doing, and links to some songs. And you spoke briefly about, there's two songs that I'm kind of juggling here, which I'd like to hear.
Yeah.
The one being a sci-fi nut myself, you said something to me about a song that is to watch Earth by. What was
Well,
that about? I'm a little off on that. Forgive me, but what's that about?
well, it's because my Heartstrings recording was taken up with astronaut Susan Helms on the Space Shuttle Discovery.
Interstellar. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and she told me it was good music to watch the Earth by. So when I saw the images that came down, there's just incredible images. In fact, during my shows, we're going to do some audio visual where on a big screen behind me, I'll show the very images that inspired this too. And I call it View from Space.
View from Space. Okay. absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
I am entranced. You know, my friends say I talk a lot, and then there's someone like you comes along and does something like this, and all of a sudden I can't think what to
I was
say.
really surprised. You just
Uh,
kind of sigh there.
I
So,
really love your music,
oh, thank you.
and I'm watching your hands. Okay,
Yeah,
and
that that has a specific technique, and it's a technique that I learned from Chet Atkins. I used to hang around Nashville, hang around Chet's office a lot, and every now and then he'd come down and say, "Here, Muriel, I'll teach you this." And so he'd teach me something. And one thing at the end of Mr. Bojangles, he's going.
sweet.
And I thought, what is that? What are all those harmonics? And so he showed me this technique he had learned from a guy named Lenny Breau, which is alternating one regular note with one harmonic. So then I took that idea and expanded it and said, well, what if I alternate one regular note, one harmonic and two regular notes? And so then I came up with my own kind of technique. That's what I use for View from Space. So I teach this if you are interested in learning.
I would love to learn it. My thing is I got converted to a piano. Uh,
Oh, okay.
don't
Well, you
what
have to reach inside and,
Yeah,
yeah,
well, there is a harp in there. It's just there's hammers on the thing instead of But
yeah.
yeah, my mind is flying at this point in time. I mean, there was a Marx Brothers movie one time where Harpo lost it and rips a harp out of a piano. His sister starts playing it. Okay,
Oh,
and that was kind of interesting. But so I'm assuming that Chet Atkins is one of your major influences as far as doing what you do here.
yes. I mean, Doc Watson was my first influence because I loved bluegrass and grew up with that, um, and then I was taking mandolin lessons from Jethro Burns, and I played this tune called Nola for my mandolin teacher, and he said, "Well, let me introduce you to my brother-in-law, Chet Atkins." And so,
And the family, no less.
yeah. So then Chet started sending me tapes of tunes to learn for my little hotel gig that I had. I wasn't playing concerts yet, and eventually I started coming down to Nashville and taking lessons one-on-one with him.
Wow. Wow. Is Chet still around? I mean, that's a dumb.
No, not for some years. We really miss him because there are a whole bunch of people who got to know each other through Chet. So he mentored a lot of people, not just me. So, um, it was a real community of us.
He was a fantastic, I didn't know if he passed away or not, but I've seen him play a number of times, and he's just I love listening to him. I mean, he was excellent. I saw him once as a kid on the Johnny Cash show many years ago, and I remember on some show somewhere he actually sang, and it didn't last. I, and I remember him saying, he says, "I'm better on the guitar than I am singing."
Well, I remember he said, just didn't want you to be bored by too much talent up here. And then he'd sing one.
So, but he was something. He was really something else.
I'll do one more on this one so you can get the feel of just some of the other places where you can handle the bass notes.
What is that you're doing there when you're throwing those levers?
Oh yeah, so this was an idea that I had when my earlier guitar builder who made my main harp guitar, Mike Doolin. I asked him if he could put half-step tuners on the bass so that I could change tunings like this
I'll be darned.
without just with one.
A quickie capo.
Yes, and now other builders are making these. So this is I'm very proud of my contribution to the
I'll
harp
be darned.
guitars. And then also Luke Bruner, who makes foldable harp guitars. He also made a set of attachable super trebles. So if I don't have the super trebles on a guitar, then I have those. So he calls those Muriel trebles.
Muriel treble.
Because Muriel trebles, I think, because I've been asking him to make it, and so now he's making it, and some other people are picking them up. So it's kind of fun that just some things that I wanted to make my music.
It's great.
Some other people are now adopting.
You're not only are you loving your art, you're contributing to the overall art itself.
Well,
I think
that's part of it. As an artist, you have to do that. Your job is to give.
Yeah, and that's I love it. So all right, let me put you back on center stage here and take off with your next song. Go for it.
Maybe I'll sing this one since you talked about Chet singing.
Go ahead.
Just so that, in case you we're getting bored with too much talent up here.
Yes. Okay.
As Chet would say. Starry, starry night, paint your palette blue and gray. Look out on a summer's day with eyes that know the darkness in my soul. Shadows on the hill, sketch the trees and daffodils, catch the breeze, the winter chill, in colors on the snowy linen land. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now, for they could not love you. Still your love was true. But when no hope was left in sight, on one starry, starry night, you took your life as lovers often do. But I could have told you, Vincent, this world was never meant for one as beautiful as you.
Wow. That sounds nice. I like that.
Well, then I changed it quite a bit to add it to the harp guitar, and then decided to sing a verse. I hadn't done that for a long time. That was fun to revisit that.
It's like I said, our world needs soothing music like this, and it is definitely soothing. I love it. I got to tell you, Steve prepped me for you. He said, "Get ready, she's good."
So this is a little Stevie Wonder tune that I put on my Nightlight Daylight CD.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Always good.
So we were talking about playing three parts at once, and this has got at least that going on.
Okay, here we go. Holy mackerel! How you just went and did what you just did? Okay.
Well,
I mean,
I
go
I
ahead.
have to say I owe a lot of that to Pete Huttlinger, and he's a guitarist that I sat next to at my All-Star Guitar Night. I do these All-Star Guitar Nights at least once a year, and get guitarists together from all over, and we are all influenced by each other, and so that was the beginning of that. And then, of course, I added a few parts and changed a few parts, like we all do.
I'm watching your hands there, and then when you did blah, 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 at the end, it's like, I mean, I got the only way I can talk about you what you did there is talk about what I do, because I can't compare with what you just did there. I play like Chico Marx and Jerry Lee Lewis, which is why I wear this thing occasionally because I overdo it. But and I know how difficult it is when you sit there and you start doing that crazy piano at the top, da, 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 like that, and I start doing certain things, and your hands like just you don't think press C D F G F C C, you don't think, you just do it. What you were doing just there, going over to that, trying to translate this in my mind over to a guitar, you were carrying that bottom bass, dun 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 dun, dun while carrying the main tune. And I'm watching both hands. I thought, there's another arm in here somewhere.
and and the thing is to phrase each part. So you're thinking, how would Stevie Wonder have phrased that melody?
Yeah,
And I have a great singer, Mark Kibble, was singing on the album. So I'm thinking, how would Mark have phrased that?
that was
And yeah,
phenomenal. I'm telling you,
so
that was absolutely phenomenal. The way you kept the parts together. No, I'm sorry. Kept the parts apart
mhm.
and definable in what you were playing, because you could hear this, you could hear that, you knew that you had the bass going and you had the high end going. So there's two distinct parts playing, yet it was one hand doing it.
Okay, well, I'll give you a lesson and then I'll show you how it's done.
Oh my God!
So, I just started teaching on String Masters. That's a new format, and I'm doing these things called shared private lessons. So it's not a big commitment, for private lessons, and you share it with just a few other people. And I usually have it when I've got one coming up. I've got one on that now page, the murielanderson.com/now.
I'll have to stick my nose
Yeah.
in there just to see
And
what.
then there's the True Fire lessons, and those are really inexpensive, and it's a great format. So those are some pre-recorded lessons, and you can also do private lessons online there.
My challenge
So
is translating it to piano.
yeah, but you don't have to play professional, really great stuff. I think it's important for everyone to play something, and
Oh, yeah.
that's what we did in my family. Is everyone took some sort of instrument and played something for fun. After all, what are you going to do for Christmas if you don't all have instruments to sit and play Christmas carols?
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah,
love.
so or Hanukkah carols, for that matter. And so and that's one reason I started the Music for Life Alliance, to try to encourage more kids to play music by supporting the grassroots organizations that are already out there doing the real legwork. 'Cause there's some
Yeah.
great organizations like Guitars in the Classroom, Little Kids Rock, and many others across the country that are getting lessons and instruments to kids.
Yeah, having music to the kids, and I feel bad. My own, I have four kids, and only my youngest took up flute, and she
Hmm.
lost interest in it. She played in a couple of bands, and that was it.
You needed to
Well,
get her a guitar.
what happened? Well, they're all older, and have my son got a guitar, and he played it for a little bit, and then dropped it. And they're all older. They've got kids and they got their things going on, but they definitely could use the music. They've
Yeah,
tried.
it's a companion to you for your entire life. So sometimes when other people have let you down, you can pick up your instrument and it doesn't let you down. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
really important. You know that,
Oh, yeah.
and in fact, this next tour that we're taking, our next sailing tour, we're going to be dropping off instruments along the coast. So Sam Ash is donating some instruments for us, and Hungry for Music is donating some instruments, and
What do you
that's
mean?
going to be a big project now. So that's the acoustic sailing project.
What do you mean sailing? You actually sail down the coast?
Yes, we're going to take a couple months, We don't know exactly how long. And sail from Long Island up along the coast of Massachusetts, and we'll stop at Cape Ann, give off some instruments there, and continue along to the Maine coast. So if anyone has a music program along the coast and needs instruments, let me know. We still have a couple stops that we could deliver.
There's lobster in those woods.
Yeah, there are, and good ones. So, and I'm going to be writing music along the way. So, we're just starting to put together this project, and it came about because I was given a great gift recently. In a dream, a lady in my head was singing a song, and when I woke up, I could remember the entire thing, the bass line, the percussion part, the two guitar parts, all the lyrics. The whole thing
Wow.
came out. And it's only the second time that this happened this clearly, and it's been a good song. And it was a sailing song. So I thought, okay, this is the beginning of the sailing album. So I've got the one to start off with, and the trip will be inspiration for the rest of the songs.
Oh yeah.
So you can, I should have some links on there where to join us. It's if you go to the YouTube, the channel is Acoustic Sailing. But there's ways that you can join us along the way.
When you sail, do you sail like real close to the coast? Do you go, or do you not see land?
Well, Brian is the real sailor, so he's taken this 30-foot sloop and sailed clear across the ocean to Europe, and it was designed for the Great Lakes. It wasn't even designed for the ocean. But it's it's the boat that he has, and that's the boat that we've taken out. And the last time that we took it, there was one crossing over from Massachusetts to the central coast of Maine. So there we were a good day and a half without seeing land. And coming back in a storm was a little bit of excitement as well. And in fact, in the videos, we were so busy with the storm, and the waves were breaking over the side as I was at the tiller, and it was like a movie. But we didn't get any video of this, so we decided to So we decided to recreate it, and I asked our friend Jeff Coffin, great saxophone player, if he would help by throwing buckets of water on me in front of a green screen. And so he was more than happy to do that, and we recreated the scene.
Oh my God. Well, I'll tell you what. I would be involved with the recreation. I won't even get on a cruise ship. Okay? And they show the cruise ships that are actually like 5 times bigger or 20 times bigger than the Titanic. I mean, they're massive. And no, they're made of metal. They sink. I've never been on a cruise ship. I've never flown. Okay.
Well,
I terra firma. That's where I stay, and my daughters hate me for it.
well, different slopes for different folks, I guess.
Yeah, I went skiing one time. I'm sure you've heard of Camelback. Okay, and I fell down the mountain. All right. I don't do this. I just can't.
Well, skiing and volleyball, those are two things that are much too dangerous for me.
Oh, really?
Because I could break a fingernail, and then I really wouldn't want to break a nail, because then that's where my sound and my emotion comes from, is a combination of the fingernail and the fingertip. So those two are much too dangerous. But sailing I'll do.
No.
Yes. Also, bowling is very dangerous. You could break fingernails easily.
Well, it's
bowling, so I won't do that yet.
Very quiet sport, though. I like it because you can hear a pin drop. There's my bad joke for today. So,
all right. Well, let me play another tune for you. Right?
Sure.
We've gotten into too many bad jokes in a row. So this is one that I wrote after eating a lot of Greek food one day, and this was kind of the beginning of the Acoustic Chef project. That's the cookbook with music for each recipe, and this is what was inspired by the baklava. And I'd written the whole tune before I realized it was in 13/8 time, so I called it a baker's dozen.
Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Wow, incredible.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah. Well, it looked like it was fun. You know, and that's a point. When you sit there and you start doing that stuff with the fingers and hands, and you start getting all these kind of crazy combinations, that is fun. It is. It really is. And I prompted a question here while I'm watching this. Okay, do you have like pinch points for the upper and lower harp strings, where you would change the notes on them, or you? It is what it is.
That's a good question. Um, because I only have 7 super trebles instead of 8. I sometimes want an extra high one. So if I can find the harmonic, there it is. It's a tiny, tiny spot. If you touch exactly the center point, where'd it go? Of the string, there it is. All right. Then I can get one more. So what I need to do, I haven't done it yet on this guitar, is take a little magic marker point or put a little white dot on the guitar so that I can expand this, and there it is.
Okay.
Find those notes.
So, but
So
it is what it is. You cannot change the note like you do on the guitar section of it. You can't run
right.
up, you can't run up and down a scale or anything like
Yeah, well, you sometimes if I don't have the sub basses, I'll pinch the basses,
that. Oh, you can do that. Okay.
but it's not as clear of a sound. It's a little muffled.
Okay.
And there was one note that I played. I needed one extra fret up here, so I bent the string over the edge of where the fingerboard disappears, and to get that last note. And so that's a little fake note that's not really there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
So
is-
we just make do with our instruments and to create the music that we want to hear.
Now, I got the impression through our conversations here that these guitar harps are specially made, handmade. I'm
Yes.
gathering each one, and there's. I kind of getting the impression also that there's no two alike.
Yeah, well, you could say that of all guitars essentially. That
Really?
there's variations in the wood and the bracing, especially with handmade instruments, and they tend to age differently. So this guitar is new, so it's just starting to break in, and it'll start sounding better and better as it opens up and gets played more.
Oh wow! So, okay, this has been an incredible experience. I mean, Steve said to me I was not going to be disappointed. I was going to love what you do, and he was completely correct. You are
Great.
you're fantastic at your art, and I am completely disappointed that you're not playing here in the Lehigh Valley.
Yeah, well, we can change that.
We're going to have to change that.
Yeah.
We are winding up with some things that are happening here that we're working on, but we're not the only people, to the party here. There's lots of stuff that goes on. I did mention to you Music Fest, and I'm hoping that you're able to get in.
Hope so.
And if you are in a Music Fest, I'm going to see you there. Hopefully, it's a big event. They've got the Allentown Fair going on. May I also refer you to the Zollner Art Center, who I think would be very interested in your work.
Right. Well, we do an annual pilgrimage from Brian's little cottage in Nashville. This is where I am. This is a 1909 summer shack,
Okay.
and it was his grandparents' little summer place. And so this is where we spend the summers, right near his boat. And then we take our annual pilgrimage back to Nashville around October. So October we'll be passing right through.
Oh, well, then mention it to me, and um, I'm not sure where we're going to be on that, but if I can make some kind of arrangements to get you in someplace, I will do so. I'm not sure what I can do because everything's very unsure at this point in time. We are actually Rock in the Valley is actually looking for a home to park ourselves in. And if we have our own home, you have a place to play. So.
Great.
So, Muriel, it's been a blast
Oh,
having you on here.
well,
It
thank
has
you.
been. It has been an experience, and you're fantastic. I'd like to remind everybody, your birthday, June 17th. Okay.
Yeah, not to send me a card, but to come to my birthday party concert.
Yep.
Yes.
You have to register online. Go on to Muriel Anderson /now, or you can just go to Anderson, and there's a whole menu of things there to see. You'll enjoy it. You'll love the website.
And we're going to be giving away a CD. We're going to be giving away a copy of Hometown Live, I believe, to everyone.
Wow.
So everyone who attends, as long as supplies last.
There we go.
So please at least tune in long enough to, pick
Well,
up one of those.
to stay, it's worthwhile to stay. And, you get a chance to hear some fantastic music. It's very peaceful. It takes away the stress. I'm serious. I mean, I listening to your music is just so satisfying. And I'm not trying to butter you up for anything, but can I get $5? No, never mind.
Coming right up.
At any rate, like to thank everybody for tuning in and seeing Muriel. Make your comments, telling you how much you liked her, and go to her website, go to her birthday party, and if you're anywhere near where she's playing, go see her, buy some CDs, tell you love her.
Well, I'll play you out then. So it's been charming to spend some time with you, I tell you.
Thank you
Thanks,
very
Steve.
much. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead and take us out.
Okay. Little French song.
Au revoir.
This is the one that goes with the quiche in the acoustic chef book. Sous le ciel de Paris s'envole une chanson. Elle est née aujourd'hui dans le cœur d'un garçon. Sous le ciel de Paris marchent les amoureux. Le bonheur se construit, ce bonheur fait par eux. Sur le pont de Bercy, un philosophe assis, deux musiciens, quelques bardons, puis les gens parmi eux. Sur le ciel de Paris, lorsque toi chanter, hymne des peuples pris dans sa vieille cité, près de Notre-Dame, parfois que va drame, oui mais apparemment, tout peut s'arranger. Quelques rayons du ciel d'été, l'accordéon d'un marinier, l'espoir fleurit au ciel de Paris. Et le ciel de Paris a son secret pour lui depuis 20 siècles. Il était pris dans notre île de Saint-Louis. Everyone, quand elle est trop jalouse de ses milliards de monde, il fait gronder sous nous son tonnerre éclatant. Le ciel de Paris n'est pas longtemps cruel. Pour se faire pardonner, il offre la catière.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
Merci beaucoup. Bye.
Au revoir. Bonsoir.